Welcome to the great debate of 2021. Movie theaters or streaming services? What side do you fall on? What is going on, fellow board members? Welcome to the boardroom. I am Ords, and today we are actually taking a look at a few different articles. But before we dive into the articles today, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscription button down below. We are on the way to 1,500 subscribers, and that will help a lot if you guys did that for me. Either way, guys, I do appreciate you coming to check out the video. Now, with that being said, the first article we're taking a look at here is from Deadline.com. Will Legendary challenge Warner Media over Dune and Godzilla vs. Kong HBO Max move? So, with that is obviously this article goes back to last year, December 7th, 2020, where this kind of all began, where Legendary and Warner Media kind of going back and forth about how they want to release these movies. And since then, we've gotten Godzilla vs. Kong out in the streaming service and in the theaters. And the numbers are actually very interesting when you look at them, and how I believe that not only can these streaming services coexist with the theater services, but how customers will enjoy both simultaneously. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. But first of all, to catch you guys up, like I said, the feud between Legendary and Warner. I just want to make a quick point that movies used to be a treat. Back in the past, it wasn't something you did all the time. You didn't always have that option to go to a movie. So it was something that was a treat. And I feel like maybe with the streaming services existing, we're kind of going to get back to that. I mean, it is expensive to take an entire family to go see a movie. Even on a date night, you go there, you spend $15 on a ticket. It's $20 for a bucket of popcorn. And you're not going to go up and get your refills because you don't want to miss anything in the movie. There are good things and hassles with that, I think, on both ends. Obviously, if you're watching the movie on the streaming service, you don't get the big, giant, huge picture. I mean, I'm sure some people have really giant screens in their house, the home theaters and all that stuff. But you're still kind of missing out on that enjoyment of being there with everybody else, the crowd reaction, that sort of thing. That kind of comes with it. It's more of an experience. And I'm kind of glad that it might get back to that point where a theater is more of an experience, spending a little extra money to have an experience. I'm glad we might be getting back to that. So I think Legendary's issue that comes with putting these movies and stuff on the streaming service instead of having only theatrical releases, kind of harkening back to the Wonder Woman 1984 when we're supposed to get a 2019 release in December, but not getting it for another year after that. Obviously, the pandemic happening and everything pushing that aside, and to see maybe how theaters suffered because of that, the lost revenue in that. I think what it comes down to is that if a movie is bad, the movie is just bad, whether it's on a streaming platform or whether it's in the theaters. It's just a bad movie in general. An example I'd like to say is throughout the years before streaming, we had straight to video releases, videos, movies that would bypass a theater and go straight to a home release, which is kind of like maybe I would say akin to Netflix and what they are. They are kind of like a straight-to-video release. They create content, bypass theaters, put it out there for you folks to watch. This is just the next evolution of it, and allows creators like YouTube and stuff like that to make more content, make Netflix make more content because they have their own platform to do so. Again, straight-to-video release. Just instead of going out and buying a physical copy, you now have the ability to stream it. The consumer has options. Variety is the spice of life. And to give you an example of why I think both of these can coexist, is because let's say there's a movie that's coming out and I'm interested in seeing it, but I don't know if I'm interested enough to actually go spend the extra money. Maybe I subscribe to the streaming service and then watch the movie from home and get to enjoy it that way. If it's a movie that I'm very, very interested in, then maybe I go to the theater and spend the extra money again to have that experience. And I think as consumers, if there's something we really want to see or invest our money in, we're going to do that no matter what the cost. So I think what this comes down to is it's also going to make Hollywood maybe try a little bit harder to actually get people in the theaters and give people what they actually want to see. So I don't think there's anything wrong with a little competition. In the same aspect, giving consumers the ability to choose from a wider variety of options, which is nice, very nice, I think, as a consumer. All right, so now having some time after the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, we see some numbers here, and they're very interesting. This article comes to us from cinemablend.com, how MonsterVerse studio Legendary feels about Godzilla vs. Kong making its box office run now. So like I said, Legendary was very hesitant about putting this out on the streaming service alongside a theatrical release. They really wanted the big monster movie aspect to be out in the theaters. Obviously also try to keep the theaters alive with revenue. Prior to the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, most of the focus was on the fact that the movie was seeing a stimulus release in the theaters and on HBO Max. But what's clear from nearly 50 million domestic box office opening is that the streaming release didn't harm the box office all that much, if at all. This could signal the day-and-day release could become more the norm, as the box office is still able to survive even alongside the streaming release. Legendary, the studio behind Godzilla vs. Kong, sees this more a clear win for the box office. Studio CEO Josh Grodd recently told THR. Now, like I've been saying this whole time before I even started reading this article, to quote Josh Grodd here, I think a big movie like this working should tell everyone that if we are rational in how we release the movies, there is an appetite for a shared experience in the theaters. That's what I'm saying. People who want to see the movie but aren't really huge fans of like Godzilla vs. Kong, they're going to want to watch it in their homes, you know, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, having the ability to do that instead of having to wait 3 to 4 months before a movie actually gets put out on DVD or Blu-ray, whatever you guys buy. But the shared experience, I think, is where the theater comes in. Theaters are going to become more of an experience now. But depending on one's point of view, the success of Godzilla vs. Kong could be seen as a win for streaming services and day-and-date releases, as clearly in the case of Godzilla vs. Kong, that did not result in the torpedo in the side of the box office receipts that many were afraid would happen. Legendary itself was especially concerned when Warner Media announced it plans to release all Warner Brother movies in 2021 on the HBO Max. At the same time, they were in theaters. The fate of Legendary's other big WB releases this year, Dune, is still being discussed and might not arrive on the service as originally announced. Again, I think it's dumb if you don't release Dune on both the streaming service and in theaters. There's such a following with Dune that it's going to make that money. So I don't think I would be worried about that. Put it out there. It will make money. People will subscribe to the service. People will go to the theaters to watch it. Again, give your customers options, and you're going to have more customers. You'll make money in the theaters. You'll make money on your streaming services, and everybody will be happy, and I believe these things can coexist. It seems that overall, and especially from Legendary, the box office success of Godzilla vs. Kong is being taken first and foremost as evidence that theatrical distribution is still strong, and that is still the best way to release big movies. Yes, of course, it's the best way to release big movies, but also give people that option. I would very much support a company that would allow me to do both. Like if there was a movie that, I wanted to see this movie, maybe review it, but it wasn't something that, I had to see. Give me the option, and I'm going to be able to, or I'm going to want to support you more when your business if you give me options to choose from. Warner Media has recently confirmed what the company has been saying all along, that HBO Max decision in 2021 was made solely due to the circumstances following the pandemic, and in 2022, all its studio releases will go back to a theatrical first model. I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's going to be the case. I think they're saying that right now to appease Legendary, maybe, or to appease the theaters. But I don't think you're going to see that. I don't think you're going to see all these go right back to it. I think they're going to have so much success with the streaming services that they're just not going to be able to do that from a financial standpoint. I think they're going to be making too much money. I could be wrong, and maybe you guys want to, roast me in the comments below, but go ahead and do that if you want. But I honestly think that they're not going to come out of that. I think that they're going to see this as a viable business model. I mean, you see it with Disney Plus. People are willing to spend $30 on a movie on a streaming service they already pay money to for a monthly subscription. So I think you're going to continue to see this, and I don't think that it's going to go back to exclusively theater releases in 2022. There appears to be no plans to pull movies from streaming this year. Other studios also have day and date plans for films, at least for the next couple of months. Well, everybody seems committed to this idea ending in general. Exactly when that will happen is far less clear. Like I'm saying, there hasn't been anything said. They're going to see how this business model goes, at least in my opinion, and I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong before, but I think they're going to see how this business model goes before they actually announce to anybody what exactly is going to happen. They're saying that the plan is this, but there's nothing set in stone. So it is in my belief that these two services, the theater services and the streaming services, all can coexist. I think it's just going to be a little different than the way it used to be, or the way that we're used to. We're talking a year out. I mean, more than a year out. So it's been interesting. It's been an interesting ride to see what's been going on with the movie theaters throughout this entire pandemic. And really a service that was kind of, hurting to begin with. There was less people going to theaters. I just think you're going to see a plateau of people going to theaters who really want to see that movie that's in theaters, and not just going because that's the only thing there is to do on a Friday night. But anyway, guys, that is the video. Hopefully you liked it, guys. If you did, please make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that bell for notifications. All of that. Hit the subscription button. Again, we're on the road to 1,500 subscribers and trying to hit it by July. So if you guys could help me out and do that, I would very much appreciate it. Also, guys, again, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know if you guys are streaming service or if you're theater. Let me know, guys. I'd love to have that conversation with you down below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. There it is, guys. My opinion on why I believe these two services can coexist. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love all of you guys, and we will catch you on the other side. Peace.